Now, I said I wanted you to just do questions like 7 through 15. All right, so here we go. It says, how many square feet of flooring are needed to cover a rectangular room 10 feet 3 inches by 3 feet 9 inches? So let's see how many of you remember. We have a problem here because we have inches with feet. I cannot mix up the units. So how many inches in a foot? 12. So what you're supposed to be doing is you're supposed to be saying that the width is 10 and how many feet? What fraction of a foot is 3 inches? What fraction of a foot is 3 inches? What? 1/4, right? And how do we know that? Because I said 1 foot has how many inches? So you have 3 out of 12. Now let's say we didn't know that was 1/4. Do you understand that on your calculator you can type in 3 ABC 12 and it'll reduce it down to 1/4 for you? Your calculator will do that. All right? But we already knew that 3/12 was 1/4. So it's 10 and 1/4. So the length is going to be 13 and what? 13 and 9/12. Thank you very much. And what is 9/12 reduced to? Thank you. 13 and 3/4. Now you're supposed to remember how to find area of a rectangle. How was I supposed to find area of a rectangle? Length times width. So everybody puts down area equals length times width. Write it out. I want everything written out. You need to write the formula. All right, that will help you learn the formulas. That will help you learn the formulas. So area equals length times width. What? How do I find the answer? 100 how much? I don't think so. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. You did what? 10 and 1/4 times. Everybody do that on your calculator now, just for practice. Just to double check yourself. All right. And Bradley, what did you get again? 100. No, I don't think that's right. Bradley, you didn't do that on your calculator. You did it in your head, and that's why you made a mistake. What did you get? 140 and, is that right? 15 over?
140 and 15 over 16.
Okay, perfect. Nice. You're multiplying these two things together. You're multiplying these two things together. So everybody do, again, I'm saying today's a good day to just practice with the calculator. So you're doing 10 and 1/4 times 13 and 3/4. That's what you're doing. All right, now if you don't have your calculator, you're just writing down, A equals 10 and 1/4 times 13 and 3/4, and then tonight go double check it. Everybody hear me? Justice, you heard me, right? Yeah. Okay. So now let's take a look at number 8. It says you have enough paving stones to cover 10 square yards. You plan on making a walkway that is 30 inches wide. Well, right off the bat, what's the problem? I have what here, guys? I have yards, and I have what? I have yards and I have inches. That's a problem. All right? Everybody with me? Somebody tell me how many inches in a yard? How many inches in a foot? Thank you. 36. So I want everybody to make sure they write this down. 36 inches. 36 inches is equal to 1 yard. I also want you to write down 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. And I also want you to write down that there are what? 3 feet in 1 yard. That's something you should know. All right? That's something you should know. 36 inches in a yard. Then I have 12 inches in a foot and 3 foot in a yard. 3 feet in a yard. Can I go with this? Bradley, you all right back there, buddy? Well, why don't you learn how to use it like everybody else? And ask me how you type numbers in. All right, let's do this problem. Okay? What calculator do you have? That's easy. You can do that. All right, there's an ABC button on there somewhere. Try to find that first. All right, so here we go. It says, how long can you make the walkway, all right, with the paving stones that you have? Well, listen to me very carefully. So I'm going to make a walkway. Guys, look right here. Here's the walkway that I'm making. Kind of like a sidewalk. Is everybody with me? And I'm trying to figure out how long I can make it. I know I have an area of what? 10 square yards. Now, if that's going to be 30 inches, we already talked about the fact that I need to convert that to yards. So is it more than 1 yard or less than 1 yard? Less than 1 yard. So what fraction of a yard is it? Come on. Well, how many yards, how many inches is it right now? 30, right? So if we have 30 inches out of 36, because every yard has what? 36 inches, right? So I want you to put that down. And then it's what? 5/6, because you can type 30/36 in your calculator, hit enter, and it'll reduce it down for you to what? So this is 5/6 of a what? Of a yard. You're with me on that. All right? Now, what am I trying to find? I'm trying to find this guy right here. That's how long I'm trying to figure that out. Now, do we have the area? Yes. Do we have the length? And we're trying to find the... So what's the relationship again between area, length, and width? What's the formula? Area equals, go ahead. Very good, length times width. Comfortable with that? Everybody needs to write that down again. Now, what is our area? What is the area, Bradley? How many? I like what you said. 10. What's the length? Do we know what the length is? What's the width? 5/6. Does everybody agree with this? So how do I figure out what I do with the length? What do you think? No, that's not a bad thought, but listen to me. So the square is just the unit. So that just means there's 10 squares in here. You with me? Nothing to do with the calculator. All right, so now I'm trying to work backwards here. So what do I have to do to work backwards? Yay, very smart. You're going to have to divide. Now, why do I divide? Divide both sides by what? 5/6. So your length is equal to, everybody do 10 on your calculator. That's part of the problem, Bradley. Divided by, now you hit 5 ABC 6. And it could be what? 12 yards. Everybody with me now? 12 yards. 10 ABC 1, ABC 4. Come on, practice. Don't tell me, okay, type in 10 ABC and then multiply it again to see if that works now. Now listen to me. You measure area with squares. You measure length with yards. You with me? So right in here, if I were to draw this out, there would be 10 squares in there. You with me now, right? But if I measure a length is always measured in units, not units squared. Now, what is a unit? A unit could be an inch, could be a yard, it could be a mile, it could be a foot, right? But a length is never going to be square feet. Like, I'm not going to say you're like 5 square feet tall, right? I don't say that. All right, you're 5 feet tall. All right, well, all right, you see what I mean? See what I mean? All right? So now, that was an excellent problem. Excellent problem. Now let's look at B. Now it says, suppose you wanted to make a walkway that's 16 2/3 yards. How wide would it be? Does the area change? No. So this time it's just what? 10 is equal to, very good, 16 2/3. 16 2/3 times W. Very nice. Very nice. All right. So now, how do I do this on the calculator, Bradley? Now, what goes into your calculator first? Right? Because we're solving for W, Bradley. Look up. So what do I have to do? Divide both sides by 16 2/3. Divide both sides by 16 2/3. Do you understand that? So what goes into the calculator first? The 10 does. So go 10 divided by 16, ABC2, ABC3. Has everybody got that? So the width would be 3/5 of a yard. Everybody okay with that? Everybody good? All right. That was kind of tricky. All right. That was kind of tricky. I believe it. All right. Let's check out the next situation. It says, use the table to find the cost of buying the amount of fabric. The price per yard is given in the table. All right. So I need to buy 3 1/4 yards of brown fabric. Well, how much is brown fabric? $5. All right. So somebody tell me how to find that. Go ahead. I'll let you know.
What I did is it's 5 times 3, so $15.
Well, you don't have a calculator, right? I
Wait,
get it.
alright, but
No,
like,
tell me. Go. What do I do?
I did 3 1/4 times 5.
Yes, that's all I'm asking. 3 1/4 times 5. I don't know what you're struggling with on that. Tell me what that is.
16 1/4.
Now listen to me, guys. Hold up. 16 1/4. We're talking about money, right?
Yeah, so it means $16.25.
Thank you. We don't use fractions with money. $16.25. 16.25. Does that make sense? You got that, right? You doing good? Good? Makes sense? On this one? Just a minute. What? Well, because it's $5 for every yard. You have 3 yards. You with me? If it's $5 for every yard, and you have 3 yards. Let me show you. Huh? You sure you're good? Now, the reason why I said only 3 and not 3 1/4, because sometimes it's easier just to see, instead of doing the fraction, can I just say 3? And the answer would be what? Yes, because you're trying to get your brain to say, hey, am I multiplying, dividing, adding, or subtracting? You with me? Now do you understand you're multiplying, right? Tell me.
My calculator for the 16
So 3 1/4.
No, I'm
Okay. All right, here we go. So number 10. What do I have to do on number 10? Right? Exactly. 20 what? Yes, thank you. $20. What? No. Number 11, right here. What do I do?
You do 5 and 6.
Good. Tell me what that is.
32 and 32.
Yes, $32.25. Diesel, do you have a calculator today?
No.
All right, but just tell me, how would I do number 12? Just write it for me. What would I do?
We do 10 and 3/4 times $9.
Why 9
Oh no, 7
times 7? All right, I need some help. Tell me what that is, Chloe. Do that on your calculator for me, because he doesn't have a calculator.
Yeah, I have 75.
75 and 1/2, which is the same as what? $75.50.
Yeah, I got 75.
Yeah,
I got 75.
Yeah.
Oh, so let's do it again. Everybody, 10 and 3/4 times 7, just for practice. 10 and 3/4 times 7. Everybody's practicing, please.
Yeah.
Is it 0.25?
Yep.
All right.
Mine's still working.
75.25, is that what you're telling me? Okay, here we go. Now, Carmen, how do I do 13, please? Shh, shh.
15 and 2/3
Yep,
times 9.
yep. Tell me what that is. Is that right, guys? Thank you, Carmen. Good job. $141. Double check it. 15 and 2/3 times 9. Is that correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. What do I do for 14, please?
You do
Shh.
you do 9 and 3/5 times 4,
And?
and that's 38 and 2.
All right. What's 2/5 though? Now on your calculator, just go 2 divided by 5. Whenever you want to know what the decimal is, you just do the shh. No one's asking.
24.
Yes. So $38 and 40, right? Make sure you're careful with that. $38.40. Good. All right. Now the next one's a good question. All right. The next one's a little bit trickier. Not really, if you've been paying attention. Gosh. All right. So here we go. You have $50, and you need to buy as much blue fabric as you can. How much blue fabric can I buy? All right. Tell me. How did I get that? Come on now, I want to know. 8 3/9 is the same as 8 1/3, isn't it? Right? I'm not saying that's wrong. 8.3 repeating is 8 1/3. Is that correct?
Oh,
How did you do that?
So I did $50, and since the blue fabric is $6, I did 50 divided by 6.
Yay, 50 divided by 6 came out to be
It was like 8.3.
8.3 repeating, but we know that 3 repeating is what fraction?
3 over 9.
And that reduces to? 8 1/3. And it would be 8 1/3 what? 8 1/3 yards. All right. Now, some calculators have this button on it, guys. So we're going to practice that. Fractions to decimals and decimals to fractions. Shh. Now, again, you're doing the fraction to decimal. So I want everybody to type in 0.5, and then I want to hit that button. Now, if it's not the button itself, it's above the button, you have to hit the shift, or you have to hit the second to get to that button. But I want to make sure everybody convert a decimal to a fraction. You know how to do yours? No. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, at the bottom.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
Yeah, I don't think I can.
I think so.
Yeah, you guys are the same. I don't think you guys can. You not do yours?
Yeah, I have you think
Okay, so here we go. Now that you know how to convert your fractions to decimals and decimals to fractions, all right? That's why I said some of the fraction, or not the fraction, but some of the calculators just a little better than others. That's all. There's not a big difference in the price. I don't think I have a trade. All right. Here we go. Let's take a look. Now I want to do number 16 now. All right. So now we've reviewed, so you should be able to tell me this pretty good. All right. So it says a mirror is 13.5 inches wide and 21.25 inches long. What's the area? How do I find area again?
Times length and width.
Times length and width. Right. So on your paper, A equals 13.5 times 21.25. That's what you're supposed to write down. Then you use your calculator to tell me what the answer is, and then you also have to put the right units in. All right, so multiply that out.
I got 286 and 7.
200 and what?
8.
Now, what units are we talking about?
Yards. We know we're not inches.
No, we're not.
Square inch.
Square inches. Thank you. Inches squared. What's the matter, kiddo?
Inches square.
What do you use the X?
When I ask you, like, if it's a fraction, you want it as a decimal. Like, if I said, what's that as a decimal, you can hit second, and then that button, it would tell you 286.875. All right? Here we go. Now, number 17. All right, number 17. It says this. It says that a deer mouse is 7.25 inches long, including its tail. If the tail is half the body length, how long is the tail? So, what do I do on this? All right, Ava, I'll let you help me. Yay, exactly right. 7 1/4 divided by 2 is equal to, I'm listening, 3 5/8 what though?
inches.
3 5/8 inches. All right. Now, it says, a recipe for sourdough rye bread calls for 3/4 cup and 1 2/3 cups. How many cups of flour will you need all together? Carson, what do I do for that? You have to add them. Thank you very much. So it would just be 3/4 plus 1 2/3. Tell me what that is. Faster. Faster. Quicker.
Great.
All right. I know. Go. Try it again. Try it again. Let's go. I'm waiting patiently. I'm so patient. Like this? Shh. Anybody else get 2 5/12?
Yeah.
2 5/12 what? Cups. Make sure you're writing in the units, because on the test, I'm going to make you write out all the units.
You just spell it cups.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, good for you. Well, because it says half. Half of the length. Half of the deer mouse. Yes, you could do that also. Listen to me. Very good question. You ready? Pay attention. Divided by 2 is the same as multiplying by 1/2. So do this for me. Take 7 1/4 times 1/2. Did you do 7 1/4? Try it again. 7 1/4 times 1/2. You with me on that? Now also do this. 7 1/4 divided by 2. You with me? So what you learned right now was that if I say half of something, you can either multiply by 1/2 or divide it by 2. You with me on this now, right? Very important. Half and divided by 2, same thing. All right, I'm pretty happy with today's. All right, let's everybody take a look at 19. It says a piece of lumber that was cut to 1 1/2 inches thick shrinks down to 1 9/32 of an inch after losing its moisture and drying out. What is the difference? What am I doing, Carmen? Subtracting. Let's go. Get on it. Shh. Now everybody should be writing 1 1/2 minus 1 9/32.
Yeah, I got
7 over 32. 7 over 32 what? Inches. Thank you. All right? You with me on that? Because we're measuring in inches. All right. Now listen, I feel way better today. Way better. Yesterday was a little slow. Today was a little better. All right? Now, your job tonight, let's do this. Actually, what I want to do is let's go, everybody try to get to question 30. All right, everybody's trying to get to 30. Is everybody hearing me? All right, that's your homework. Try to get through 30. All right. Now remember, if for some strange reason you don't have your calculator, you can write the operation, all right, and then come to school early, and then I can let you borrow a calculator. But I would prefer that you go out and make sure you get your own calculator. No phone calculator.
No, like at home.
No, there's a fraction.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
No.
There's like a phone.
No,
There's
like-
like a fraction.
No.